Okay, this is retake number 3. So this one is going on. I am taking this video in a car because it is after graduation and I went out. So here we are. The passage I chose is, in our culture, time is money in many ways. Telephone message units, hourly wages, hotel room rates, yearly budgets, interest on loans, and paying your debt to society by serving time. These practices are relatively new in the history of human race, and by no means do they exist in all cultures. Something I noticed about this passage is that it's saying that in society today, you can't have something done for you without paying for someone's time. Also, it points out that we are one of the only cultures that do this. So basically, in America, someone possesses a certain skill and that other people don't know how to do something, so they hire someone with that skill and pay them for their time that they will never get back. It is significant to notice this because when you think about all the people who do things for you, you begin to realize just how often you're paying someone for someone else's time. The passage implies that in society today, people don't do things for free because they feel like their time is so important, they have to make someone pay for it. The way the author breaks down everything you have to pay for allows readers to fully grasp the concept of what they are trying to explain, because it makes the reader think about just how often they are paying for someone else's time, which is obviously a lot more often than we realize. However, the passage fails to acknowledge the people in the world who do things out of the kindness of their hearts and don't expect to be paid, because there are a lot of people that either just want to do something for someone as like a random act of kindness for the day, or whatever the case may be, but not everyone always expects money in return for a favor. The passage also fails to acknowledge that it is these people, that sometimes it's people's actual jobs because they possess a skill that someone else doesn't have, so they use that to their advantage and decide to get money for it. It's how they make their living, so in reality, they deserve to be paid for their time. The passage relates really well to the work as a whole. The metaphor time is money is something that is said a lot in society. It goes along with the other metaphor as well and helps people get the deeper meaning behind the metaphors used just about every day. So this author really does a good job of not only including the metaphors, but going in and showing like that deeper meaning behind them, I guess. This passage relates to Nietzsche's essay because both texts revolve around humans being self-absorbed. In Nietzsche's essay, he talks about how humans think they are the reason for everything on earth and that the world revolves around them. Meanwhile, in this passage, it points out that in a lot of cultures, people don't pay other people for their time, which shows that in our society today, people are only looking out for themselves and how they are going to benefit in the end. Actually, it does that and it doesn't at the same time, because in our society in the USA, obviously, it goes along with Nietzsche's theory about how people think they're so important and they deserve to be paid for the skill they possess and that they are doing the favor or whatever. But it also kind of proves Nietzsche wrong, because Nietzsche says that people think that the world is like only about them and people are so self-absorbed, yet in a lot of other cultures, people just do random acts of kindness without expecting anything in return. So, the passage relates to the world today because it makes you think that there are no good people in the world. It makes you think people won't lend a hand and help you out without receiving anything in return. The passage makes us think differently about writing because it shows writers the amount of detail you add to your writing will allow readers to fully grasp what you're explaining and make them think. So, another thing I found really interesting in this essay was the whole apple juice seat thing. I found yes, because that would make no sense to someone, but in the right situation, it would make absolutely perfect sense. Like how sitting at a table with all orange juice and then there's one seat with apple juice, you would obviously know what the apple juice seat means. And I found it really interesting that if you told someone to sit in the apple juice seat, like the next day, like you would already know what someone was talking about, like since the day before. I don't know. I just found that really interesting for some reason. It was just a small little detail. And the song that I'm going to be analyzing for my essay is Piece by Piece by Kelly Clarkson. So that's that for video number 4.